Back to Sebring International Raceway. It's the 2025 Radical Cup North America Series. It's time for race 2. And after what was a fantastic race 1 this morning, lots of preparation in the paddock. And a lot has been said about this circuit. Of course, the hallowed grounds of Sebring, the concrete here, the same turf that has seen so many famous names cross the concrete runways from Cunningham Corner to the Le Mans Curve. And as you can see, this 3.74 mile circuit, 17 turns, some fantastic corners, great passing opportunities. We saw some commotion in race 1 down at turn 1 and into turn 3. Of course, turn 7's always a good passing opportunity, as is turn 10. And the high-speed section between turn 13 and turn 16 is a great area to watch from this circuit. Of course, Sunset Bend, very, very harrowing, as is turn 1. Over the bumps here at Sebring, easy for a driver to use a little bit more than the racetrack than they expect. Some great shots out of the USAC pace car as the cars make their way around this circuit. So we'll start with the grid here, and off the back of it, Steve Jenks was unlucky in the first race. He will start from the back after a big moment, a big lockup into turn 3. Alongside him, Spencer Schmidt, who also had a disastrous first day at the office of 2025. In row 12, it'll be Jace Bacon alongside Dermot Ennis. And Ennis, whilst an older gentleman driver with plenty of experience in racing, he's a rookie here in the Radical Cup. On row 11, it's Cedric O'Hayan, one of many Canadian drivers, alongside Kenny Nail from Graham Rahal Performance. Aurora Strauss ended up winning race 1 in the Pro 1340 class. She was elevated to that race win after Brady Clapham came to grief with the officials, a post-race penalty for a little bit of a driving infraction relegated to Brady to second. Aurora will start from the 10th row of the grid alongside Mike Darden. Seth Bacon will then start in row 9 alongside Mike D'Ambrose. And as we mentioned, Brady Clapham having that penalty, but he will start from the class pole alongside Andy Vocal. And Andy, of course, a rookie as well, doing ever so well in practice and qualifying on the pole yesterday. Mike Anzaldi will start from the 7th row alongside Valen Venkatesh. And Valen, one of the young guns that's joined this series, a brother of Arul Venkatesh, and we expect to see both brothers out on track at Barber Motorsports Park. From row 6, it's Austin Riley alongside Ryan Persing. And Ryan with some big shoes to fill. Nick Persing, a champion a couple of years ago in the Pro 1500 class. From row 5, it won't be Jack Yang because he has just trundled down pit lane to start from pit lane. Gustavo Rafols was looking pretty racy in race 1, and we'll be excited to see how he can vie for position with Raider Nicole. He was the fastest man in Pro 1500, and we'll start from that class pole from row 4. Chip Roma will start from 7th on the grid. Louis Schreiber from 6th. Drew Altman from 5th. Scott Wagner will start from 4th on the grid. Ben Blander from 3rd. Wayne Williams shares the front row of the grid with Mackay Stevens, who took out the race win and, for that matter, the pole position for the Platinum class. You can see the drivers just lining up and getting ready to go here at Sebring International Raceway. It's time for 40 more minutes of action from the Radical Cup North America Series. They're line astern and side by side. The pace car is in the pit lane and the green flag is out. We're racing. Race 2 for the Radical Cup, and there's a moment at the back of the pack. A car has spun around 2 cars into the wall before they even get to the start line. Meanwhile, All other cars going through turn one. So again, the start's causing chaos. We saw a little bit of action earlier today in the Porsche series as well. And same thing here with the Radicals. And a bit more of a hip and shoulder as they go through three. Turns 4 and 5. So at the moment, it's definitely Wayne Williams who's been relegated to third place in that Dayglow yellow car. Ben Blander looks like he's certainly made one place up, and the full course caution is out. So obviously a good decision there from race control. 2 cars still on the pit straight. And Sebring, as we mentioned in the earlier broadcast, it goes from being like a street circuit to like a typical racetrack, but certainly on the main straightaway there is no grass, just concrete. And unfortunately, it's the barriers that have collected the 44 and the 17. So 44, Cedric O'Hayan from Radical Canada East, and the 17 of Jace Bacon of Crown Concepts with Apex Motor Club. Not even taking the green. Now, meanwhile, we should have seen the car that didn't make it to the grid in time, and that's the 21 of Jack Yang. He has made his way out onto the field. Mackay Stevens has converted his pole into the lead. Ben Blander sits second on the racetrack. Wayne Williams has been relegated one spot. Scott Wagner sits in fourth. And Jace Bacon has got back underway. Now, luckily for him, he hasn't gone a lap down. So it's quite conceivable that he can get going again. Hopefully the 44 of Cedric O'Hayan can do the same. Looks like a little bit more damage potentially on the 44. As the car's trundle down the back straight, weaving to get some additional heat into the Hankook rubber. That was a short-lived opening lap. Raiden Nicole has converted his pole in Pro 1500, and interestingly enough, he's put a couple of cars between himself and the next Pro 1500 competitor of Austin Riley. That's a tremendous start for young Austin Riley. Austin Riley started 5th in class and has made his way up to 2nd in class. So Racing with Autism's Austin Riley from the Toronto area started this week in the snow, is now in the sunshine here at Sebring, and race 2 of the championship. He has made some pretty crucial moves early on. Another one to do so is Andy Vocal, who didn't start from the pole in the Pro 1340 class, but has eclipsed Brady Clapham. And we believe that there was a lot of passing in turn 7, potentially under yellow, so it may be that the order has to reshuffle. Certainly possible penalties after this race. We saw a couple of passes under yellow in this morning's race, and well, that may mean that any results in this one are provisional. Aurora Strauss sitting 4th in class after taking this morning's win, being elevated to that position after that infraction from Brady Clapham was investigated and deemed a little bit of inappropriate driving there. SR10 was just in pit lane. I think that was the 68 of Steve Jenks. So, and a couple more cars into the pit lane as well. So the 28 of Gustavo Raffles coming in. So some heavy hitters in terms of the Pro 1500 Championship have also had dramas. We saw a great race this morning between Ben Blander, Wayne Williams. In fact, Louis Schreiber was also in the mix. Schreiber has a new power plant in the back of that 111 machine. Following this morning's race, he was down on power, and a glitch in the back of that SR10 has meant a new power unit. Chip Roma in the 5 and Louis Schreiber in the 111 will be ones to watch as they come up inevitably past Raider Nicole, who at the moment is quite happy to have a couple of out-of-class cars between himself and Austin Riley. So we're just taking a little bit of time here to remove the 44 from the racetrack. I think that it will be a case that we have one more lap under full course caution. The safety crew just doing their best to make sure that that machine is stable on the back of the tow hook there before they drive off. So Sebring, not usually as eventful as this, as must be said. Can't think of too many incidents last year, but for whatever reason this weekend, the concrete canyon that is Sebring International Raceway is certainly catching a few out. And Mackay Stevens with a good view of the back of the safety car, and us with a good view of the front of Mackay Stevens. So two other cars that will be looking to make some moves will be the Cameron Racing cars of the number 19 of Ryan Persing and the 15 of Valen Venkatesh, younger brothers of drivers that have raced numerous events in Radical Cup, and both of them out of karts, cutting their teeth at car racing. In fact, would you believe this is their first car race ever? Or second, I guess. This morning's was the first one. And lots of nerves going into the weekend. Both of them, reasonably calm and collected on the surface. But as they've been saying, just lots of differences between karting, where there's short qualifying sessions, maybe only 3 laps to go and put in a time, versus the 25 minutes that occurs in Radical Cup. Races longer, 40 minutes, as opposed to short sprints in karting. Full course cautions, all sorts of things to deal with that one doesn't have to deal with in karting. But the one thing that karting obviously prepares drivers for is the racecraft. And already, both of those drivers in the hunt for a podium position in this race. Ryan Persing, Valen Venkatesh sitting 3rd, 4th in class. So as you can see, it was quite a big lick on the Mobil 1 concrete wall here on the main straight at Sebring. The wall's just being repositioned. And the good thing is at Sebring is the walls do move a little bit, and they do give. And quite frankly, as a driver, I'd rather an impact with a wall that's going to move out the way a little bit than something solid. So it looks to me like the emergency vehicles are leaving the scene. I wouldn't be surprised if the lights are off on that safety car. The starter is preparing. Certainly a green flag as the drivers make their way through 14 and 15. Some great aerial shots of this racetrack as they set up for the 12-hour event. Lots of IMSA trucks coming into the paddock. That airport will be full of private jets in a couple of weeks' time. At the moment, it's full of radicals and radical race transporters, Porsche Sprint Challenge transporters, a sea of paddock activity, as you can see there. So Mackay Stevens starting to reset, as are all the other drivers in the Radical Cup North America Series. After only a couple of corners, it's gone full course caution here at Sebring to tidy up a mess that was created before the green flag even flew for some of them. But now they're trundling around to restart this second race of the championship. It's time to go green once again at Sebring, and indeed that green flag is already waving, and we're side by side in the Platinum class, and in Pro 1500, 1340 on the charge is young Ryan Persing down into turn one. You can see the cars side by side, a little squeeze there as it looked like Drew Altman had Scott Wagner go around the outside. Altman now having to defend from the 5, Chip Roma. And right behind him, our leader in 1500, taking the wide line around, that gold and black car. The Primal Racing Machine of Raider Nicole. Down into turn 7 for effectively the first time under racing conditions, and Chip Roma lunges to the inside. Great pass on the number 11 of Drew Altman. So Roma moving forward. The top 7 cars, all Platinum class cars. The next 3 are fighting for the podium positions in Pro 1500. It will be really interesting to see what Austin Riley can do, what Ryan Persing can do too. Andy Vocal has done a stellar job to put a Pro 1500, Mike Anzaldi, between himself and Brady Clapham. And looks like Valen Venkatesh just fell back a little bit on that restart. Of course, we're racing on the green, and it looks like that just caught out a couple of drivers as we head down and around from turn 16, down this long straightaway on the concrete runways, down into this harrowing turn 17. The track diverges. There's a lot of concrete out there, as you can see, and then it really tightens up underneath the bridge. These cars bouncing over the surface. You've got to be careful not to use too much track because of your line, because it's quite easy to find yourself using a foot or two extra on the exit, particularly around turn 1. You can see Wayne Williams all of a sudden on a wider line. Many of these drivers being very conservative on the exit, and look behind as Drew Altman has a go at Chip Roma. In fact, that looks to me like Wayne Williams is chasing down Ben Blander. And behind Wayne Williams is Scott Wagner. So these guys running line astern, showing how well these SR10s race together. Further back, Chip Roma has an absolute mirrorful of Louis Schreiber in the 111. Drew Altman in the thick of things too. So it was Louis Schreiber who was a little bit braver around turn 1 on Drew Altman that last time around. Ryan Persing's got himself into second position, taking over that place from Austin Riley. So at some point we'll pick up the leaders in Pro 1500. They're just going through turn 16. Just a little bit behind this front-running pack of Platinum class cars. So Mackay Stevens has set the fastest lap of the race so far. He's checked out a little bit. The battle is really behind him. And look at Wayne Williams close in under that gearbox of Ben Blander, using a lot more track on the exit. Gets a great run out onto the main straight, the front straight here at Sebring. Further back, we just about saw Ryan Nicol, the leader of Pro 1500, coming to shot. Wayne Williams so aggressive over the bumps around Sebring. He's got a great run now again on Ben Blander. Can Ben Blander sustain this pressure? The Canadian is charging hard. Scott Wagner still doing a fantastic job in fourth position with Chip Roma in fifth. And Williams with damage on the front of that 57 machine. So I think he's found the back of the 134 at some point. Ryan Nicol still leading Pro 1500 from Raiden Nicol rather, from Ryan Persing. Austin Riley sits third. Mike Anzaldi fourth. It's Andy Vocal who leads Pro 1340 from Brady Clapham. And then it's back to Mike Dambrose, Seth Bacon, Jace Bacon. Aurora Strauss has fallen back a little bit. The first race, it was about being at the right place at the right time and keeping it clean for Aurora Strauss. She picked up a win in the opening round of the championship. Didn't celebrate it on top of the podium, but it was awarded to her afterwards. So these cars, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, line astern. Now let's see who's next in shot. And that's that gold rear end of Raiden Nicol. Ryan Persing. How close is he to Raiden? And again, Wayne Williams using plenty of track. So too for Chip Roma, who looks to be sizing up Scott Wagner as they head down into turn one. Yet Roma goes to the inside. Brave as anything on the brakes at the last minute. They're side by side just ahead as well. Chip was just in front through the apex, but Wagner back ahead as they head down into turn three. And still, Ben Blander manages to keep the green machine ahead of Wayne Williams. It's a fantastic fight for second place on the racetrack. Meanwhile, this battle means that Mackay Stevens is able to extend his lead. And whilst we continue to watch that, with Chip Roma having another look to the inside down into turn 13, that was a little optimistic, but just trying to pick up some of the Pro 1500 action. And it looks to me like they're just heading into the next sector in turn 14 at the moment. The 93 of Raiden Nicol, perhaps with an issue. So the transponder got stuck for a minute, but perhaps it was just the predictive timing, just catching up with the car. So Raiden Nicol is through turn 16. In fact, he should just come into shot in just a moment. There he is, Raiden Nicol leading Pro 1500. What is the gap like between himself and Austin Riley now? So what has happened to young gun, the number 19 of Ryan Persing? He's showing down in 25th position. Ryan Persing seems stuck in the second sector, and indeed the caution flags fly, and I fear that is for the number 19, the Steve Cameron Racing Radical Northwest machine. Ryan Persing, his race is done, it would appear. So once again, the race will be neutralized, and there we are. The 19 has run wide. And the That looks to me like it's just out of turn 1, so Ryan's just run a little wide, and the trouble there is you get off into that dirt, and all of a sudden you can be a passenger quite easily. Ryan's out of the car, so unfortunately whatever's occurred is terminal for this one. The team will have a long night tonight. But the good news is there are plenty of hours to repair the damage on the number 19. It doesn't look too bad. Perhaps the rear wing just folded down a little bit. So I think what's happened is he's had a big moment over the bumps, mid to late corner. That snapped the rear of the car around, and he's been a passenger into the wall and actually reversed it into the wall. That's bent the rear wing down. So this gives a few but particularly crucial right now. Wayne Williams was ultra aggressive behind the 134 of Ben Blander. We saw Scott Wagner and Louis Schreiber in the hunt too. Chip Romer showed signs early on that he was had speed, certainly capable of running with the front runners in the Platinum class. And Steve Jenks has made his way back up to 10th. So this is going to be a huge fight for the Platinum class when we go green again. Plenty of time still on the clock. 18 minutes remain. So we'll just take a moment to have a look at the order. We've gone through the Platinum class. Rayden Nicole doing the job in Pro 1500. Austin Riley, stellar job from him, heading up to second in class. Mike Anzaldi finds himself on a provisional podium step in third in class. So Rhino Racing, it's amazing how over the years Austin Riley and Mike Anzaldi just seem to find themselves together on the racetrack, whether it's in Pro 1340 fighting for a championship, whether it's now in 1500. Gustavo Raffles with some work to do, but again with a little bit of a reprieve. Jack Yangs clawed his way up from starting right at the back, in fact in the pit lane. And Jack Yangs worked his way up to 13th, which has got to be a Sunoco Hard Charger Award, I would suggest. Perhaps only eclipsed by Louis Schreiber. Definitely be a couple of drivers vying for that title in this one. Steve Jenks has also had a good charge up through the field. And so Mackay Stevens again is going to have 25 plus radicals behind him, looking to take that outright step away from him. We've got a couple more laps, I'd say at least one more lap under the safety car. The good news is at Sebring there's a couple of cut-throughs, as you can tell, right there at the exit of turn 1 and down into 3. So it's going to be easy once that thing is on the tow hook to move this car on. The fact that they are using the crane suggests that some of the suspension has also had some issues with the wall. And you can see there that it's quite dug into the grass. That famous number, the number 19, used by Steve Cameron in Formula Atlantic. Seen some good races over the years. And talking about pedigree, big shout out to Jordan Missig, who's running at St. Pete in Indy Next. Yesterday he was 4th fastest. Haven't seen the results from today, But tremendous showing of speed from the reigning Radical Cup champion and indeed the Pro 1500 driver. Fourth fastest in Indy Next, no mean feat. And fantastic to see, just proving the calibre of driving that's in this series. And why so many young guns, the likes of Austin Riley, Valen Venkatesh, Ryan Persing, Gustavo Raffles, and others join this series. You can learn everything you need to learn about big downforce prototypes. Of course, you can apply all of that to open wheelers and top GT cars as well. It really is a good platform, the Radical, in terms of learning your craft. And of course, on the other side of the spectrum, so many drivers end up remaining in this car for years and years and years. So it's going to be around about a 11.5 minute, 12-minute sprint race to the end, hopefully. What has Wayne Williams been plotting? What about Scott Wagner, Louis Schreiber? Louis Schreiber is a fierce Radical Cup competitor. He's certainly been on the podium plenty of times. And we're just passing that stricken car on the back of the tow truck. Very excited to see what Austin Riley can do too. Red Nichols certainly had the pace to control things in terms of Pro 1500 this weekend. But it's one thing to set a lap time in qualifying. It's another to deal with all the drama that racing throws up. And Gustavo Raffles sits back in 12th overall, 4th in class at the moment. You know that Raffles wants to try and get back on the podium again. He left this series as a champion. He's back. And he hasn't found the top step of the podium. You know that eats away at him. Of course, he'd be pretty happy with the return. Already taking a podium, though. Things have moved on. The level of competition continues to rise. And he's still proving that the cream rises to the top, whatever the challenge. Gustavo Raffles is back, and I think he's certainly made that known in the championship so far this weekend. Mike D'Ambrose has had a pretty quiet weekend, just plotting away and collecting valuable points. Great to see him here. No doubt we'll see him at Road America as well. Right, so the starter looks more poised than ever before to pick up a green flag in just a moment. The safety car is speeding away from the pack. Mackay Stevens controls the field. 7 platinum class cars in a row. A couple of 1500s with Steve Jenks in the middle of the 1500 fight for the podium. Then it's Andy Vocal, Brady Clapham, Mike D'Ambrose, Seth Bacon, Jace Bacon, father and son, line astern. Plenty of drivers will be duking it out right now, and it's going green, and Wayne Williams gets absolutely annihilated as the flag flew. Side by side they go down into turn 1. Williams tries to brake later, but on the inside it looks to me like Louis Schreiber has just come ahead of him. Williams, they're still side by side down into turn 3. As it looks like Scott Wagner has a little bit of a look to the inside of Ben Blander. Meanwhile, they're still tussling for position. Williams with a bit of exit. Certainly then Louis Schreiber down into 7. He has a look to the outside first. Now a look to the inside. He's got Chip Roma having a look. Williams down the outside of Louis Schreiber. Will Roma capitalize on this? Certainly not at the moment, but they're ever so tight. Unbelievable stuff from the front runners in the Platinum class. Austin Riley still in the lead of Pro 1500. Sorry, Rayden Nichols still in the lead from Austin Riley in Pro 1500. Just gave the Racing with Autism team, I'm sure they were cheering immediately when I said that. But Jack Yang, 6th third. Mike Anzaldi, 4th. Yang ahead of Mike Anzaldi on that restart. So as we look further back in the pack, you can just make out some of those Pro 1500 cars coming through. The damage on the front of the 57 starting to flop around. In fact, that front nose has done a tremendous job holding on around the bumps here at Sebring. Chip Roma just feeling like things are about to get interesting in front. I think just sitting back and waiting for the commotion. We could see there Ryan Nicol, Austin Riley, Jack Yang, Mike Anzaldi, the front runners in 1500, Liner Stern as well. The top 4, hopefully we can pick up a little bit of that action as again we watch this fantastic battle between Wayne Williams, Louis Schreiber, Williams to the outside. You can see how late he was on the brakes. Unbelievable around the outside of turn 1. That takes some big determination, and the 57 of Wayne Williams is back into 4th position. Can he get on the podium? Chip Roma trying to follow Williams through. The moment Louis Schreiber managing to hold on. Williams has already gapped Schreiber tremendously. And Austin Riley is just starting to feel a little bit of pressure, I think, from Jack Yang, who's closing in slightly. There's still a decent couple of car lengths if you're following that 1500 battle, but Jack Yang is closing in. Andy Vocal has also got Brady Clapham just behind him. So if we do head a little bit further back in the pack, we might pick up a little bit of that action. But the front runners are definitely in each class running line astern. 7 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. So around about 3 or so laps remain. There is our leader in Pro 1500, the 93 of Rayden Nicol. By himself, Rayden Nicol with Austin Riley will come into shot at some point. And then it's Jack Yang in the white car. Behind him, Mike Anzaldi with that little bit of blue. The Rothmans Williams livery on the back of that. There's our battle for the lead in Pro 1340. Right to the inside, Andy Vocal goes because the 77 of Brady Clapham's coming. And in the mix of all that, that looked like Valen Venkatesh, who's in a 1500 but wants to carve his way up through the field. Again, side by side down the main straight. The leaders in Pro 1340 go. And definitely Brady Clapham with a little bit of extra pace. A better exit out of the final corner. And he goes through. But look how Andy Vocal's coming back to attack the 77. Vocal having a stellar start to his season. Impressive in his debut drive. Brady Clapham, no stranger to radical racing up in Canada in the Radical Cup Canada. But it's the first time he's had to deal with a full grid here and multi-class racing in the Radical Cup North America Series. And Andy Vocal now falling back. So Valen Venkatesh just giving Vocal a little bit of a breather. Looks like Spencer Schmidt's also followed through Valen. So Spencer Schmidt, who started at the back of the pack, still working his way up through the field. And the most important thing at the moment is to gain points. Venkatesh now ahead of Brady Clapham. So the power of the Pro 1500s coming into effect there. So the tight battle in Pro 1340 is now separated by outer class cars. You can distinguish them because that Pro 1500 has red on the rear wing. The Pro 1340s have a green, and I hope we can go back to turn 3 because Scott Wagner has an absolute mirrorful of Wayne Williams. So at the front of the field in the Platinum class, Wayne Williams has made his way up, and Scott Wagner's come off. So that's at the exit of turn 1. And oh, you can see the amount of dust and debris that's in the front of that SR10 machine. But Wayne Williams was fighting for position, and now Wayne Williams is going for broke. He's up to 3rd place and right behind the 134 of Ben Blander. So Williams, who was a few laps ago, was in 5th, has now found himself in 3rd and fighting for 2nd place. The sprint car star, who's now no stranger to the tarmac, loves these high horsepower machines. And he could be the dark horse for the championship this year. He's so good in the wet. And it seems to have found his feet in the dry as well. 425 brake horsepower under the right foot. These cars extremely quick. We haven't talked much about the lap times, but a 2:03 flat from Mackay Stevens out in front. And certainly Wayne Williams is lapping quicker than Ben Blander has all race long. 3 minutes remain. We should get 2 more laps. So Blander just finding a moment to catch his breath, get a tiny little gap on Wayne Williams as they head down into the final corner for the second to last time. But this is where Wayne Williams seems to be quick. The confidence level he has going through turn 1 is unlike any other Platinum class driver. He gains. Look how much he gains on Ben Blander. Williams is coming. No doubt. One Motorsports on the radio. You've got less than 2 full laps to do this, Wayne Williams. Raider Nicole still leads Pro 1500. Brady Clapham now in the lead of Pro 1340. And Ben Blander's just managed to find a little bit of pace. It seems in different areas of this racetrack, Blander has the edge over Wayne Williams. Meanwhile, both of them have checked out from the likes of Louis Schreiber. Steve Jenks has managed to get himself in 5th position, passing Drew Altman. So this is a fantastic recovery for Steve Jenks. And looking at his laps times too, be right in the thick of things in terms of effectively the qualifying position for the final race. The fastest laps in each race set the grid for the subsequent race. But Ben Blander's found some pace. So Wayne Williams, perhaps the damage on the front of his 57 machine as the 22 of Mackay Stevens uses all the track on the exit of turn 16. Makes his way through turn 1. You can see how much the front of that car was moving around. So where is Wayne Williams? He hasn't come through. Wayne Williams has not come through. So from fighting with Ben Blander, it's Louis Schreiber in the 111 that now finds himself on the podium in the Platinum class. Steve Jenks is 4th. Drew Altman 5th. Wayne Williams is tumbling down the order. He has gone through, but disaster for the 57 machine from One Motorsports. After a tremendous battle, Wayne Williams has tumbled down the order. A great battle between Valen Venkatesh and with Spencer Schmidt just ahead on the main straight. Austin Riley still keeping Jack Yang at bay. And there is the 57 of Wayne Williams, just salvaging what he can at the moment. Meanwhile, you can see the gap that Mackay Stevens has built in the 2022 machine. Down the back straightaway he goes for the final time. Race 2 is nearly done and dusted for Mackay Stevens. It's been a stellar race for him, leading from start to finish in the Platinum class. He's checked out as the rest squabbled, fought, banged and bashed behind him. And once again, 2 times in a row now at Sebring International Raceway, Mackay Stevens takes the win for Team Stradale. We're waiting to see who comes past the post next. You can see the gap. And it is indeed teammate Ben Blander who takes another second place. And unbelievable on that final lap, Louis Schreiber has been moved up to third place. Steve Jenks is fourth. Impressive run for him. Oh, and no, it was just moments because Ray Nicole started celebrating just as he came out of the final corner. It looked like he might have tagged the wall. It wasn't that at all. He was just weaving in celebration. He takes the win in Pro 1500. Austin Riley second, Jack Yang third, Mike Anzaldi fourth. Spencer Schmidt, solid run for him up to fifth in class. Brady Clapham is already celebrating in the 77. He's just taken, hopefully, a victory that will stick, with Jace Bacon finishing second in Pro 1340. Andy Vocal again running high, running into a bit of drama, but he'll be on the podium. Of course, this is provisional, and we were told there were some passes under yellow going down into turn 7 when the full course caution came out. On that opening lap, after the chaos on the start line here at Sebring. So a big field of radicals and some new names to the top of the charts. Again, the provisional results. Mackay Stevens taking the win in the Platinum class from Ben Blander, and Louis Schreiber rounding out the top 3. It was Raiden Nicole who makes it 2 for 2 in Pro 1500. Starting his championship campaign in style. Austin Riley, fantastic result for him, second in class. Jack Yang, what a drive from the back of the pack. In fact, pit lane to third in Pro 1500. And Brady Clapham taking the win from Jace Bacon and Andy Vocal in Pro 1340. Aurora Strauss just off the podium in fourth. Another solid performance from her. These results all provisional, and it's time to go and celebrate the victors down in at the podium. Of course, one more race for the Radical Cup North America Series tomorrow morning. Catch all the action on YouTube wherever you are around the world. It's been a pleasure to bring you this one this afternoon. It's time to celebrate with some champagne. We'll see you tomorrow. It's the Canadian. Here's a Canadian. Good job.
Hey, good job, bro. That's awesome. That's a solid draw. Oh, yeah. That's super cool. Yeah.
The Asian German. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll start as we often do with Pro 1340. Congratulations, home third in that one, Andy Vocal. In second place, haven't seen him for a little while. It's great to see him back, returning to the podium. Congratulations, Jace Bacon. Let's go! That's of course no stranger to the Radical Cup podium from a couple of years ago. And back again, well done, mate. And in first place, congratulations. Hopefully this one sticks. He goes sticks. Clap him. Yeah,
You guys scoot in, please.
Gentlemen, get nice and close together. Those trophies at chest height and nice and high.
Oh, man,
ladies and gentlemen, give these guys a round of applause. Top three in Pro 1340. All right, the chef. Yeah, we'll do a little hat dance. So we can, we'll bring in our Sunoco hats. Flip those over. Get another couple of photos for the paparazzi.
I thought you made some rice.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Scoot in, guys.
Sunoco, of course, the official
take a
fuel
look here.
of the Radical Cup series. Congratulations, gentlemen. And now it's time to bring in the champagne.
No, I don't want to get
Always a good feeling.
Definitely gonna drink it.
Smells like some champagne.
You both are gonna drink
Your
it.
feet on the
You're
podium.
getting a champagne.
Gentlemen, let's count you down. 3, 2, 1, celebrate! No, I don't want In the Pro 1500 class, the man rated on third was also our superstar in the gold class. Congratulations, the winner in gold, home third overall, Jack Yang. More hardware for Jack Yang, coming up from a pit lane start. Impressive performance. So too for this next man. He's finished second this afternoon. Congratulations, Austin Riley. Always a fan favorite. Congratulations, Austin. And making it 2 for 2 so far here at Sebring. Congratulations, the Primals, Ray and Nicole.
Alright, scoot in, guys.
Gentlemen, we'll do a similar dance here with the hats, so we'll get the trophies at chest height. They're nice and high. Ladies and gentlemen, give these guys a round of applause. We'll bring in
You can adjust this one actually fits your head. Okay, chest.
one more big round of applause. And the champagne is coming in. There we go. Like we're going to have to give you guys a little bit of a champagne spraying lesson or also bring in the gold class trophy for Jack Yang. Whilst we do that, gentlemen, I can tell you the secret.
Looks like there's one more.
To take the cork off, hold the thumb over, start shaking up, and then release the bottle. Just watch your Formula One superstars. They'll show you how to do it.
It's the first of the year. They'll learn.
They will learn, and I have a feeling these guys will be on the podium all season long. Congratulations, the top three. All right, it's time to celebrate the winners in the platinum class as well. And I'll tell you what, there were more people vying for the top spots in this class. It's been great racing so far this season. And after an engine change between race 1 and race 2, he's on the podium. It's done the job. Congratulations, Louis Schreiber.
Yeah, Louis.
It's been a Louis. Congratulations. In second place, he sustained all sorts of pressure. None more so than Wayne Williams, who I've got to give a shout out to. That was a tremendous drive. But what a drive for this man. Congratulations, another second place, Ben Blander. And making it a 1-2 finish for Team Stradale. Congratulations, Mackay Stevens. And all three drivers have something in common. They all go round and round a lot out at the Autobahn. So many country clubs like the Autobahn producing talent throughout the Radical Cup field, throughout motorsport. These guys, no exception. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, give these guys a round of applause. We'll bring in the Sunoco hats.
Louis, do you need to get a bigger hat? I do.
All right, gentlemen.
Take a look here, guys.
Nice trophy, nice and high again.
Right here, guys.
The paparazzi. Congratulations, Louis Schreiber. Now, I reckon Louis Schreiber knows how to pop a bottle. I think Mackay Stevens knows how to spray some champagne. I'm pretty sure Ben Blanders getting good at this too. Gentlemen, we'll count it down. Always calls out the way. Let's celebrate. Look at that. Oh, man.